What about the footballers? Gareth Southgate says he doesn't feel that boycotting the World Cup in Qatar to protest human rights abuses would serve any purpose. The England manager cited Amnesty International, who say they can make more of an impact by going and highlighting issues.
I don't really know what that achieves. I mean, it of course would be a big story, but this tournament would go ahead, and the fact is, unfortunately, the biggest issue probably that is non-religious and non-cultural is what happened with the buildings of the stadiums, and there's nothing we can do about that either, sadly. So, yeah, look, I think as soon as we've entered the tournament, that's the point at which you decide whether, you know, we've known for 4 years or 8 years that this is going to be in Qatar. And is the stance against Qatar as a country? We're intertwined, as we're seeing with what's happening with Russia, with all sorts of investment in our country. Sainsbury's, you know, are we all going to stop shopping at Sainsbury's as a protest against Qatar? The Shard, there's all sorts of property investment. So we're in such a complex world of deals, as we've seen with Saudi Arabia recently. You know, on the one hand, people are saying about the investment in Newcastle, on the other, we're going and asking them to reduce the oil prices so that we can get our petrol cheaper. So I think we're all observing these things, and we're all in a state of, well, this is really difficult and entwined. That's why I said before Christmas, this is complicated. But I don't think that's a decision that the players or myself firstly can make. And I know I hear various versions of this, but my understanding is that the discussions the FA have had with organisations like Amnesty International is that they feel that there would be more change if we go and these things are highlighted. So, you know, I think that is also guiding some of the thinking on that.
Jordan Henderson confirmed there would be discussions amongst the players about how they can raise the topic of human rights abuses in Qatar leading up to the tournament in the winter.
We've been briefed this week, which is really important, on the issues that are currently happening there and that have happened over the last few years. So for us as a team, we've just sort of digesting that, coming up with ideas what we want to do going forward. Because at the same time, it's an opportunity to maybe shine a light on the issues that are there, and how can we sort of make change for the better, and use our platforms to do that.
Southgate and Henderson were speaking ahead of tomorrow's friendly against Switzerland. Southgate has lost another attacking option for the game. Emile Smith-Rowe missed training today, so he's unlikely to feature. Bukayo Saka had withdrawn already. Southgate says he expected the three new faces, Mark Gay, Tyrick Mitchell and Kyle Walker-Peters, to all get some game time against Switzerland or the Ivory Coast.
Emile didn't train today, so I would think unlikely he'll be involved tomorrow. Nothing too serious, but we'll check to see whether he can be involved tomorrow. Raheem's absolutely fine. Yeah, it was a shame to lose Bukayo. But we're back in those moments, aren't we, with COVID, where there is a spike in the country, and we've had the same.
Because of those absences, can we assume that three of the debutants, at least one of them, is going to make their debut tomorrow?
Yeah, there'll be definitely. We're going to have debuts this week for sure, whether that's tomorrow or Tuesday. So yeah, great moments for those players, and we will always want to put them in with experienced players as well, so that we've got a good balance and it gives them the best chance of succeeding.
England's hopes of actually winning the World Cup might have been given a bit of a boost last night with that shock defeat for Italy against North Macedonia. Italy failing to qualify then, having beaten England in the final of Euro 2020 last summer. Southgate says it shows qualification should never be taken for granted.
Well, it's a big surprise. I think it's clear that sometimes teams have a cycle, and whether that was the cycle or whether the after effects of the final and the emotion of it and everything else, you know, I think that's where our players did so well, to recover from the emotion of the final and then to perform as they did in the autumn was absolutely fantastic. I think easily underestimated. I think qualifying always is anyway, so I suspect, looking at the results and the performances the way they went, and Italy were in that position, but also they were fine margins in 3 or 4 of their games, and that's football.
I think that what that does show is how difficult qualification can be. I think sometimes take that for granted, and it's like expected that you qualify every time for a World Cup or a Euros. So that's proved to show that if you're not 100% at it, then you can be punished.